Hello and welcome to 3-Minute Insights from Reed Smith, where we take an innovation concept and discuss the what, the why, and the how of it in an easy to understand way. 3 questions in 3 minutes. This insight is all about the use of data in legal services delivery. 3 minutes, starting now. So what is it? Well, legal departments and law firms produce lots of data. We're not talking Google or Amazon levels, but there is a lot of it floating around. And that data can help to improve legal services delivery or provide contextual legal advice. For those that immediately discount the word data as techie and futuristic or outside of what they do, let me break it down a different way. The role of a lawyer is to plan for and predict future events based on precedent, right? Well, precedent is data. Lawyers use data every day of their lives to inform their practice. So what constitutes data? Well, most often when people think of data, they think of numbers and graphs and charts and dashboards, but it's more than that. It includes emails, documents, time entry narratives, pricing, court judgments, legislation, all sorts of things. So why should we use data? Well, another way of thinking about data is as evidence that either reinforces a claim or theory or helps one to be created. Either way, you're trying to find something out, and evidence, data, helps with that. Whether it's how each stage of a transaction is priced based on historical pricing, or which clauses in your standard forms are most often changed and how, or even just organising the data you have so it can be properly searched and filtered. It's important to remember that you are using the data to supplement your judgment, experience and decision-making process. The advantage is that you get to use a whole bank of additional knowledge to supplement your own, like having 100 people behind you who have very specialist knowledge to bounce ideas off. So how can you use data? Well, here there are 2 health warnings. The first is that data is a tool to help get to an answer, not necessarily the answer itself. You wouldn't trust a hammer to tell you where to hit. Any results need to be scrutinised and contextualised appropriately. The second warning is that getting data into a useful state takes a lot of work, which can require a change in mindset and culture for an organisation. Why is it a lot of work? Well, although data can constitute many things, it generally falls into 2 types, structured and unstructured. Structured data has been put into a consistent format or database so that you can search, filter and visualize it. Unstructured data, however, is all the other bits of information from various sources across a whole organization. It's all there, but it's kind of useless as it's a mess. And most of the data we produce is unstructured. It needs putting into a consistent logical format. And with larger sets of data, that means working with data specialists. But say the data is clean, how do we use it? Well, the first step is generally to identify the question you want answered. Then you can jump into the relevant data and identify and classify where the information is that will help answer your question. Then you can start to examine the relationships between the data that interest you. And you can use those relationships to produce models testing your theory or uncovering information. And there you have it. You can see your insights. But how could you start today? Well, start small with billing or contract and matter management systems that have pre-packaged data. Find people in your organisation who specialise in working with data and collaborate with them. And just try thinking a bit differently when approaching problems. Maybe you know something's true or you have a hunch. Well, let the data back you up and give you the evidence. It's much harder to argue against the sea of facts. Data is the foundation for so many of those legal technologies that we deem super exciting. Get it right, and you can build that exciting stuff. And that's it, 3-ish minutes on the what, the why, and the how of data.